You don't see it, but the air has changed. The veil between what was and what must be has thinned like aging silk, and something sacred has begun to pulse behind the walls of your ordinary day. You woke up today unaware that heaven's clock struck midnight in the unseen realm, marking the beginning of something long promised, but also sounding the final warning for something you've refused to surrender. The moon trembled behind torn clouds last night, not from cold or gravity, but from the vibration of unspoken words carried on celestial winds. Your soul heard them in sleep, though your waking mind cannot decode the symbols. They were fire, gold, sorrow, and a name you've tried to forget. A divine appointment was written into this day long before you took your first breath, but now that it has arrived, your steps are moving in the opposite direction. You are standing on the exact coordinates of a miracle, but you are facing east when the blessing comes from the west. You are fasting from truth while feasting on distraction, entertaining a presence that is clothed in charm but breathes deceit into your future. The miracle is not delayed, it is right here, trembling like a newborn star, but your hands are not clean enough to hold it. The betrayal that holds you is not new, but you've renamed it so many times it sounds innocent. You call it loyalty. You call it duty. You call it love. But the truth? It is a rope that binds your destiny to someone else's ruin, and today it is about to snap, either by your surrender or by divine force. Archangel Michael says you have one last chance to step out of the soul shadow you keep mistaking for home. There are forces aligning now, forces you invited once through desperation but kept through fear. Their silence has been strategic. They do not rage, they wait. They do not shout, they whisper, soothing you into spiritual sleep while they poison the soil beneath your miracle seed. You are watering the wrong field. You are praying in the wrong direction. And heaven, though always merciful, is not blind. God says your delay is becoming disobedience, and what you think is a pause is being recorded as rebellion. There are scrolls open in the invisible courtroom even now, with your name etched in flame on the cover. The storm you've sensed lately, the unease in your chest that never fully quiets, is not random. It is the echo of war drums from a realm your eyes refuse to see, because the truth would require a change you've delayed for too long. And while you've been avoiding pain, you've also been dodging your healing. Today, something will try to reach you. Not a voice, but a moment. A sacred interruption. It will not repeat itself. It will not wait while you fumble for the courage to choose. If you turn away again, it will move on to the next soul prepared to carry it. You were not the only one chosen, but you are the one it reached first. The betrayal hiding in your life is a person, a pattern, or a place. You already know which it is. You've known for weeks. The miracle cannot grow in the soil where it lives. You've been praying for a door to open, but refusing to walk away from the pit you're secretly nurturing with your energy. There is divine fire rising behind your name today. Not to destroy you, but to cleanse you. But fire does not wait politely. It burns whatever stays too long. The universe is already responding to a command issued in heaven at dawn. Things will start falling away. People may vanish. Opportunities may shake loose. Do not chase what leaves. Do not mourn what breaks. What you lose today was never meant to survive your miracle. Archangel Michael says this is the hour of your choosing. There will be no thunder, no trumpet, no prophecy carved into stone. But your spirit will tremble when the moment arrives. Listen to that tremble. Trust that shiver. Step when it pulls you. Because if you delay, if you hesitate for the sake of comfort, you will miss the precise second your future was scheduled to be born. This is not a message of fear, it is a message of fierce mercy. You are not being punished. You are being called. But the one thing you must leave behind has become so entangled with your identity that you've mistaken its death for yours. That is the mistake. That is the tragedy. And today, the heavens are roaring for you to wake up before it swallows you whole. God says, the miracle will not wait for you to feel ready. It is arriving on schedule, with or without your full cooperation. The love you seek, the healing you crave, the abundance you've begged for, it is already here. But your hands are full of what cannot go with you. Empty them. Now. Because tonight, when the moon breaks free from the clouds again, the heavens will know your decision. The wind has shifted. Not the one that moves the trees or stirs the grass, but the wind of change that comes only when destiny crosses its arms and waits. You were supposed to have turned already, to have walked through a gate that now pulses behind your back like a living thing, ancient, glowing, and nearly sealed. That gate opened in silence, not with grandeur. It wasn't revealed with lightning or choruses of angels, but with a moment you shrugged off as coincidence, a phone call, a silence too long, a path offered and declined. You thought you were preserving what you had, but in truth, you turned away from what was meant to make you new. The divine has never stopped weaving around you. Threads of light, redemption, power, they're spinning even now, unseen by your tired eyes, aching to bind you into something holy. But you are holding on to a counterfeit thread, one offered by a shadow that once masqueraded as guidance. And each time you doubt the call to let go, that shadow grows teeth. You were warned in your dreams. You've had nights recently when the stars felt too loud, when voices echoed from corners of your memory you'd buried. Those were not dreams. Those were visitations. Your soul was being briefed on a coming shift, and still, you woke and convinced yourself it was just stress, just fatigue. The gate is real. The call is active. But you are dragging a weight that was never part of the design. Archangel Michael says you've been circling a decision for too long. Heaven has been patient, but now the timing has reached its sacred edge. There are cracks appearing in the map of your life, relationships misfiring, patterns resurfacing, doors slamming without explanation. These are not accidents. They are divine signals blinking like beacons in a collapsing fog. But you have refused to see the gate. Why? Because what's beyond it is unknown, and your fear loves familiar chains. Because the lie you've clung to tells you that without that job, that person, that behavior, you will crumble. But the truth is, that's not your foundation, it's your cage. Inside you is a holy ache, a soundless cry that began long before this year. It was born the moment you first felt unseen, unloved, betrayed. That ache has shaped so many of your choices that you've confused it with identity. But today, heaven is peeling back that illusion like old paint. You are not your pain. You are not your history. You are not even the name others have called you. You are the storm and the calm that follows. You are the broken jar about to overflow with glory. But the gate, this sacred gate behind your spine, is closing slowly. You still have time, but it is thin, and heaven is not obligated to repeat opportunities that are continually rejected. You are not stuck. You are stubborn. You are not cursed. You are clinging. And that is the biggest mistake. God says this day was crafted to be your rebirth. But instead of walking into the womb of transformation, you keep planting gardens in the desert and asking why nothing grows. You've been building altars to fear. You've been giving your faith to things that profit from your despair. The miracle is still active. It is still charged, radiant, alive. But it has started to flicker. Not from lack of divine energy, but from lack of your agreement. Miracles need consent, not perfection. Surrender, not certainty. And you are on the edge of forfeiting what was built for you before time ever began. The betrayal you're ignoring is not just external, it's internal. You've been betraying your own intuition for the sake of fitting into molds that crack under divine light. You've dulled your hearing to stay in environments where silence feels safer than truth. But silence is no longer safe. Silence is now poison. Silence is how the enemy keeps you quiet while stealing the future from your hands. Today is not just a day, it is a threshold. It is a crossing. And you can walk through it bloody, trembling, uncertain, but you must walk. What you think you need to figure out first is irrelevant. The clarity comes after the yes, not before. Archangel Michael says this is your Gideon moment, your Red Sea moment, your exile-ending, soul-defining moment. And it will not come again in this form. If you delay, the next gate will not look like this one. It may not hold the same gifts. It may not carry the same names. You are being offered something exquisitely specific right now. Lose it, and the rerouting will take years. You are being tested, not punished. The delay you feel is not failure, it's divine tension, stretching you for greater capacity. But that tension becomes torment when you refuse to move. And today, the time for refusal is ending. The miracle is still burning at your door. The blessing is circling like a hawk waiting to land. But it will not perch on a soul too crowded with illusions. Make room. Let the gate see you turn. Even now, it glows brighter when your heart flutters in recognition of this truth. God says, the gate is a gift, not a threat. But if you ignore it, if you call it inconvenience or dismiss it as fantasy, you will not lose God's love, but you will lose the moment that would have rewritten everything. And time will not give that moment back. There is a war in the unseen, and your name is written on the battlefield in fire. You think the strange weight in your chest, the sudden floods of sorrow, the sharp mood turns and forgotten dreams resurfacing, all of it is random, but it is not. You are standing at the center of a spiritual siege, and the miracle trying to reach you is tangled in combat not of your making, but of your permission. Archangel Michael says, the sword has been drawn on your behalf. Angelic forces are standing between you and the collapse the enemy planned months ago. But what they cannot override is your agreement with the very darkness they are trying to destroy. The miracle is still yours, but your cooperation is waning. Every time you delay the severing of that toxic tie, you extend the invitation for chaos to linger. And chaos, once welcomed, builds houses in the soul that cannot hold light. The bleeding in your spirit comes from the wounds you keep reopening with your own hands. You call it reflection, but it's really rehearsed self-punishment. You call it loyalty, but it's trauma bonding with your own prison. There is a place in you that believes pain is holy, and that is the poison making your prayers feel heavy. The angels around you have not been still. They have wept, fought, thundered, and drawn lines in flame. But their war cannot override your free will. You are not just the one being protected, you are the one giving the enemy keys to slip inside. There is a deception that feels like comfort. It is the habit, the person, the thought, the cycle. It wraps around your mind like silk and tells you this is who you are. But Archangel Michael says, that voice is a liar. It mimics your tone. It mimics your inner child. But it is a forger of identity, and it has one goal, to keep you from your appointed rising. Your soul has been marked for a higher calling. You've always felt it, in the odd moments when silence deepens, when tears fall for no reason, when you look around and know you are not home here. That ache is the scar of a forgotten contract. You were chosen. But chosen ones who never awaken become fuel for enemy agendas. This war is not abstract. Look at your patterns. Notice the strange obstacles, the near misses, the people who seem to turn against you without explanation. These are symptoms of a clash beyond flesh. The realm where your name is spoken glows with both promise and warning. You are being pulled in two directions. One is familiar and slow. It cradles your excuses like lullabies and wraps you in guilt when you try to walk away. The other is violent with light. It tears, it shakes, it strips, but it frees. You must choose the one that feels like death, because it is the death of the mask. The miracle cannot fall on a mask. It seeks the naked soul. God says, you are not cursed, you are contested. The darkness has not won, but it is buying time with your indecision. Every minute you hesitate, a crack widens in the bridge that was laid for your escape. There was a moment last week when your spirit almost broke through. You know the one. A word, a sign, a silence. You felt the urge to do something bold, to end something, to say something, to walk away, but you didn't. That was the window. That was the sword lowered, waiting. You blinked. And now the fight has intensified. The angels are weary of your double-mindedness. Not in anger, but in sorrow. You cry for breakthrough, but refuse the path. You beg for change, but clutch the chain. You want the flame to warm you, not burn you. But the burning is the only way forward now. Archangel Michael says, your tears have summoned aid, but your silence now blocks it. Speak. Decide. Act. Even if your voice shakes. Even if your hands tremble. Do it afraid. Because fear will never leave first, faith must move through it. You are bleeding from a spiritual artery, and what leaks from you is not just fatigue, it is sacred oil. Power wasted. Potential stolen. Time drained. The enemy drinks from it like a thief in the dark. Close that wound. Stop offering yourself on altars God never built. The betrayal is now embedded in your routine. The way you scroll past your intuition. The way you dismiss the signs. The way you keep that one connection alive even though it rots your joy. You are protecting the very thing trying to kill your calling. That is the tragedy. That is the mistake. The miracle is not coming tomorrow. It is hovering now, pacing like a lion held back by invisible cords. It wants to roar. It wants to fall. But it will not invade a soul still bowing to an old lie. You must declare the old pattern dead, even if it still breathes beside you. God says, the fight is not for your comfort, it is for your crown. You were meant to wear glory, to walk in divine fire, to move with clarity. But you've mistaken meekness for safety. You've labeled delay as preparation. And you've let betrayal sit at your table too long. The bleeding stops when you say it stops. The battle shifts when you stand. The gate you ignored has opened again, barely, through mercy. And this time, if you step through it, you will feel the war quiet. You will feel the storm still. You will feel the miracle descend. But if you don't, if you stay one moment longer in the arms of what breaks you, the angels will be forced to retreat. Not in defeat. In honor of your choice. The miracle is not leaving you. But you may be leaving it. It's here. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. The moment you feared would never come and yet dreaded it might. The air around you is weighted with divine decision, and though you try to distract yourself, something inside knows, this is the day you are called to walk through the fire. This fire is not punishment. It is purification. It is not there to destroy you, but to burn off everything that has no right to follow you into the next realm of your becoming. You think you've endured enough. But what you've endured was only the pressure. Now comes the break. Now comes the beauty. But it requires your full surrender. God says, the miracle is already lit, already crackling like divine thunder wrapped in silk. But you are still holding the rope that binds you to yesterday. Still letting someone else's fear dictate the volume of your roar. Still waiting for a peace that will never come until you make the cut. This mistake, this one mistake, it's not what happened to you. It's what you keep permitting in the name of mercy. You've confused compassion with compromise. You've called it grace, but it's actually delay. And your destiny, though drenched in patience, is starting to fold back its wings. The fire is calling you. Not gently. Not quietly. It crackles in the pit of your stomach when you lie to yourself. It sears your spine when you speak halfway truths. It roars behind your eyes every time you smile at what secretly drains you. And it will not quiet. Not until you obey. The one you must release, the habit you must sever, the environment you must abandon, it is the final key. The angels have drawn circles around it, circling it in red light for weeks. Every part of you already knows what it is. The only thing left is the choice. And heaven is watching with breath held. Archangel Michael says, what you refuse to release will soon become what you resent. Because even your soul will turn against your refusal if it means preserving your purpose. Divine discomfort is mercy. It's the hand of God dislocating you from everything that keeps your wings folded. The miracle is not what you expect. It will not come in a package tied with gold. It may arrive in grief first. In silence. In sudden endings and broken ties. But what breaks will be exactly what cannot walk with you into your fulfilled promise. The fire knows what doesn't belong. And you, your soul, your higher self, your future memory, has already walked through this fire. The vision has already been shown in the eternal realm. Your alignment with it now is just a matter of courage. The fire will not harm you. But it will melt everything false. You've begged for a sign, and heaven gave you one. Then another. Then more. The missed calls, the conflict that won't end, the heavy silence in your heart after certain conversations, these were not random. These were your burning bushes. And you passed them by, too busy bowing to fear disguised as logic. But no more. The sky is moving. Time is bending. The curtain is lifting. God says, this is not just a miracle, it is your recalibration. Your divine memory. The version of you that remembers why you came here in the first place. But to reclaim it, you must let die the version of you built for survival. She served you. He saved you. But now, they must be laid to rest. You have been dragging their bones into a future not meant for them. No wonder it feels heavy. No wonder the joy won't stick. You are trying to celebrate resurrection while still guarding a tomb. The fire is sacred. It is God's own breath on your life. And it will consume what doesn't belong, but it will leave you glowing, free, awake. If you say yes. If you take one step. Even trembling, even sobbing, even crawling. That step is your agreement. And it will unlock what cannot be taken by force. The betrayal you keep justifying, the fear you pretend is discernment, the voice in your head that sounds like wisdom but reeks of shame, these are the ashes you must scatter. No more rituals for ghosts. No more worship at the altar of delay. No more feeding what feeds off of you. You have tried everything but surrender. You have read, prayed, fasted, cried. But what heaven is waiting on now is your decision. Not your perfection. Not your certainty. Just your yes. Archangel Michael says, the heavens are at attention. The atmosphere is shifting. The earth beneath your feet has become holy ground. And if you step forward now, through the fire, what you feared would destroy you will become the very fuel of your divine rising. You will not lose what matters. You will only lose what lied. The relationships that remain after this day will be rooted in truth. The blessings that come will not fade or rot. The love you will encounter, first with yourself, then from others, will be real, because you will finally be real too. God says, your name is being sung in realms you forgot existed. Your strength has moved angels. Your cries have been recorded in sacred ink. Now comes the shift. Now comes the unmaking of what should never have survived, and the coronation of the you that always should have been. You are not walking into destruction. You are walking through fire, into the light.